Coming up next on RaceSpotTV, Monday night Skippys. We're at Snetterton for 18 laps of very fast action. I'll catch you in a second. Welcome back to Monday Night Skippys. We're back live again here on a Monday night, and it's Rachel and Connery as always. You go in the booth, and we're live at Snetterton. 18 laps coming up tonight. Straight to your grid with no further ado. We're on the grid ready to start this thing. Bill Fraser puts it on pole, second time this season for him. 120.018 for that. Kane Halliburton, Mark Mercer, Simon Edwards, Ben Daniels, Tom Ward, Clark Williams, Jack Hobbs, Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, and Paul Rowell in your top 10. Rest of those positions up on your screen as we are about ready to kick things off here tonight. Shorter layout than last time we came to Snetterton, and tonight will be a fantastic round for this one. So keep your eyes on this field. This is going to be a lot closer racing than we saw in the last one, which was kind of spread out due to some of the action on track, but interesting to see where everyone is today as well. The qualifying is especially interesting here, of course. A couple of our top drivers aren't here. No Mercer. No Stuart Adcock, and of course no Tom Ward. Good start up at the front as the green flag flies. Everyone's single filing out pretty early though for the first corner. Do you know Mark Mercer is there? He's back at third place. And so is Tom Ward. Okay, that was jumbled up. I did not see those positions listed on our screen, but we'll have to see how this one does play out for tonight. Adcock not running up there with the front guys as we normally expect. Ward gets cut off there by Ben Daniels coming through the second corner there, the 180 degree at the bottom of the corner onto that middle back stretch here on lap number 1, and not much of this lap left actually. It's a very short lap here, Connery, at Snetterton. We have this real bulb section at the start, and then almost the back of the key here at the top where we have almost a full circle to complete where we turn left here into this quick fast left, ooh, tight right.
Tom Ward's around
as Ward goes around in front of the field. Problems with Tom Ward there as he has to watch the entire field go past him. A terrible start to this one. We'll get a replay for you there of Tom Ward's incident. Connery, talk us through it.
Well, I can't right now because my mic is having problems, so you take us through it.
Oh yeah, he makes contact with Ben Daniels there, coming through the left-hander. Cuts across, contacts Ben Daniels, goes onto the grass, loses the back end, round he goes, holds it, just manages to avoid being hit by basically most of your mid-pack. And he's now way down the running order as Bill Fraser will come across the line to complete lap number 1 here. Mark Mercer up to second place, Halliburton back to third. Edwards in fourth, Daniels, Clark Williams, Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, Jack Hobbs, Paul Thurston up into ninth place, Paul Rowell. Thurston's had a great start to this one, Connery. He's jumped up here into ninth and looking very fast today. He qualified in 11th. He's one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, very quick indeed, but he has to be careful not to lose sight of the cars ahead of him as they tried to start to break away. A little bit of scrapping ahead. Ben Daniels versus Clark Williams. This is for P number 5 out there on circuit, and you can see just visually how they split themselves off of the leading 4 ahead of them. Challenge for the race lead, though. Bill Fraser defending on the inside to Mark Mercer as they head coming up through towards the left-hander into this S's section now. Mercer has the apex for the second right as Bill Fraser has to hang it around the the outside, coming up towards bomb hole now, and Bill Fraser still defending on that outside line. He can carry a very good amount of momentum around there. It's almost side-to-side contact. They head their way through the final long right-hander coming up towards Murray's, and Fraser, he's still there, still on the outside defending, and now he's rewarded with the inside for the final corner. Bill Fraser will hold position.
But will he have the momentum coming out of that final corner, though, here, as Mark Mercer in second place should have the draft here on the young Scotsman. Pulls to the outside as they head towards the start-finish line. Not going to lead the lap, but in a really good position here to lead through the first corner, as he has a bit of a head there into the outside line. He'll take the lead there over Bill Fraser, usurping your pole sitter tonight. Kane Halliburton close third there behind him, as well as Simon Edwards. Breakaway here for front four. Clark Williams lagging back a little bit, about 2 seconds back from your lead group here, Connery, as it's now Mercer leading the line. Paul Thurston back in ninth. Where did the car of Tom Ward end up?
Yeah, that earlier incident, remember. So there we go. We got Alpha P number 2 going on right now. Bill Fraser threatening to drop a pack through the field, in fact, as Kane Halliburton inside the top 3 for the first time in what seems like a long while, as Fraser tries to follow your race leader coming through the S section towards bomb hole now. But the thing is, Fraser, he's dropping back. You can just see how much Mark Mercer is faster here.
We just had big problems up there towards the front, actually, to try and work out who that was, but it was one of our kind of mid to forward group. I think I just saw have some issues on the racetrack. That was, I believe, looking at the car, the 253 or 252. That's Nicholas Vaughan Roberts. Had a big off there with bomb hole, as if you look here, Connery, just a moment ago, put a wheel on the grass on the outside of the corner. Oh, looped it round. Big pile of plume of smoke there as he kept the wheel spinning to turn it round. Nicely recovered, actually.
Yeah, nicely recovered indeed. He will just drop back through the field somewhat, as this is a very, very big field here. 47 cars took the race start here, and we've already got coming up to around about 3.5 laps done. That's how quick the lap times are here. Around about 1 minute 20 seconds in qualifying trim. They're actually running 120s, 121s here in the race, as Kane Halliburton in the draft of Mark Mercer down towards the left-hander at the end of the straight here. Is he going to go for the move? No, he's just going to chicken out a little bit here, and you can't really blame him. It's still early on in this event. He has many, many more chances later on to try and make that move.
He certainly does, and of course Halliburton up to second place there, Connery. Made that move last lap. As you of course mentioned, Fraser, great qualifying, but like a couple of races where he's had those starts, he's just dropped back slightly, and we'll have to see if he can rally forwards. Daniels here leading a group with Hobbs and Thurston. Thurston's actually moved up past Hobbs. So Thurston's actually advancing his way through this field tonight. He's going to be up to 7th place here. So Snetterton proving to be a fantastic place is up towards the front there. Side by side for second place with Halliburton and Fraser. But Fraser will have the line into turn 1.
Yep, he will, and well, this is the 200 layout instead of the longer 300 layout that we had last season. And well, we were discussing this before the broadcast. We do prefer the 200 layout, especially for this type of racing. But this pack of 4 continuing to try and break away from Clark Williams, who is basically in a little bit of no man's land right now. He's got a little bit of a train starting to develop behind him in the form of Ben Daniels, Thurston, and Paul Rowell. But that is just the state of things at the moment. Can Clark Williams latch onto the back of this front train if this front train slows down? But looking towards the race lead still, Fraser still trying to harass the back of Mercer, but Mercer's just having none of it. The door is going to be firmly shut in Bill Fraser's face every time he tries to go down towards the inside.
Of course, it's the grand old tale of the young upstart in Bill Fraser and the seasoned campaigner in Mark Mercer. And it's almost, to kind of give a comparison, let's say a Jenson Button and a Daniel Kvyat sort of situation of the young driver that wants to prove himself, and a seasoned vet as well. The veteran makes a mistake, probably due to age. Let's not say that to Mark's face, of course, but Bill Fraser has the outside line now and will run past with no problem. Right as I was saying, the seasoned campaigner can keep down the young guy. The young guy doesn't make the mistake, the veteran does, but will it be enough to take the corner? Mercer stays on the inside though, carries momentum well through the inside, which Bill Fraser couldn't in a similar position. Halliburton to the outside, won't be there in time. Mercer has the inside line for the next corner. Bit of contact wheel to wheel there as Bill Fraser slips through, so does Kane Halliburton, taking advantage there of the quick left-right.
Yep, exactly. And Halliburton will have the run on Bill Fraser coming down this very long back straight here at Snetterton, and he's got a little bit of traffic to deal with ahead that might come into play in just a couple of laps time, or even a couple of corners time, depending on how slow this traffic is. But Fraser will successfully defend the inside up in towards the right hand, and now careful not to overcook that. Does overcook it a little bit, runs 2 tires into the grass coming up towards Bombhole now, but this leading trio absolutely nose to tail, no separating them.
Certainly does, and they will be staying together for what seems to be the entire race, I believe, at this point, as these guys have been really, really well matched here as a car loops it in front of the leaders there. He slides off onto the grass and gets out of the way rather nicely, but Mercer now going to try and battle back here over these guys as Thurston back down to 8th place, as Hobbs has gotten past Daniels as well there. They're all going to cycle past the lap down car. Ramsey up in 10th place. He's running on his own there, really kind of a buffer zone. 2 seconds back, you've got Jake Ridlington and Josh Thompson, Peter Cowan in that collective. Paul Rowell running at the back of the group here with Thurston. And that is, of course, I believe the car of... That's not Ramsey, actually. I believe that's one of our lap down cars just grouping behind those boys. Threw me off for a second. Up front, Mercer's gotten back past Halliburton, running now behind Fraser on lap number 7 here of 18. The laps are ticking by so much quicker than the 300 layout, Connery.
Yep, they are. We're already coming up towards the halfway stage in just a couple of laps' time. But Mercer still now in a completely different situation to what he was at the opening couple of laps of this race. He now is the one that has to get past Bill Fraser instead of the other way around. So this will be an interesting one. We know Fraser is aggressive on his offense, on his offensives. But the thing is, can he be the same way while trying to defend the position? That's the question you have to be asking here. Is down into the Murrays for the 7th time in this event now, and Fraser careful not to run wide there. There's a little bit of gravel out there on the exit of the corner that can catch you out if you dip 2 tires into it. It's going to ruin your momentum all the way down this pit straight if you dip 2 tires into there. Defensive inside line taken by Bill Fraser, but I don't think Mercer's going to go for it. He's not going to be baited into a move like that. Ooh, but runs through the corner.
Oh, yes. Look at that one, Connery. You mentioned it just then, but Mercer peaking, not trying to go too soon. This was the difference here. Fraser passed every time he had an opportunity, Connery, so far, but Mercer seems to be gauging out the 15 car and trying to look for where to make a move.
Yeah, that certainly seems to be the case. As there's your series admin in front of all this being lapped down. Actually, he just takes to the grass, as potentially we'll be seeing 3 wide coming down the back straight in towards the S's section. But no, Kane Halben's just going to back out, and Mercer's going to take the race lead here, coming down through the tight section. And it's, he's just so squirrely coming through the middle of the corner. Towards the inside at bomb hole goes Bill Fraser, and Halliburton's looking for the piece of the action as well as we head towards the latter end of the lap. And look at that, Simon Edwards now on the back this train to make it a 4-car fight.
Certainly would be, of course, and Edwards has been hanging around, didn't really join in with his top trio, but he's been in that group really, Connery, so far. He's had some great qualifying, of course, great races, has struggled to convert the qualifying spots into wins, but he's definitely proven speed so far as he's hanging there with Halliburton, as Fraser's going to look to make a move here on Mercer for the lead. Mercer takes the racing line, as is his right to do so. Leads him to the first corner yet again on lap number 9 here, halfway through tonight's event. And we'll take a look back at where Tom Ward was. Of course, he got down to a low of 32nd. He's been working his way up the field in 21st place now. Just got past Anthony Catt, working on Sigley and Beard ahead of him, who are fighting for position, Connery.
Yeah, indeed they are, and this is way back inside, just inside the bottom end of your top 20, and Ashley B will actually have the run down into Wilson here, but the thing is, he's just going to back out the move, not brave enough to go down the inside at this moment in time. He just follow Nick Sigley through the preceding couple of corners, look to get the run off of the corner on the back straight, but the thing is, those runs are looking very, very equal, and look, there's Tom Ward. He's in 19th place. Usually we see him top 3, but the thing is, that earlier incident has put him down through the field, so he has to get all the points he can get now to stay within the championship fight. Down towards the inside he goes.
He does. He goes for a sniper move there down into this latter part of the lap and dives to the outside, cooks it kind of wide, but holds on here as he'll go past the 51 of Ashley Beard there. Beard just not quite got the same speed as Tom Ward, but Ward has picked up some side pod damage, Connery, I've just noticed. There wasn't there from the incident before, but he's definitely been making his way through the traffic, whether they wanted it or not, it looks.
Yeah, he's definitely been on the boards as the car does go off ahead. That is Nick Sigley, and he's going to be slow on the straight as a result. But the thing is, he's a bit too far ahead to be challenged coming down in towards turn number 1. Battling ahead of these guys for P number 14, though. Peter Cowan versus Robert Plumley here. And Cowan's going to defend the position into 1, but careful not to overshoot the corner coming through there. The cutback move could potentially be on if you do that, but Plumley's just going to stay behind for now. Into Wilson, turn number 2 they come. Coming down through here, careful of that curve on the inside, it is rather vicious. As squirrely through 3 is Peter Cowan, and here comes the run from Plumley trying to drive his left.
Certainly does. Plumley making a good one there as he's trying to kind of keep himself as far as if he can in this one. He's not had such a great race. Cowan there on his outside has the line advantage. He hold it on the outside there to make the inside of the next corner. He does, but he'll cook it a little wide. Plumley might have a run here.
Yep, exactly, and I think Cowan's being a bit too guilty of being over-aggressive on the defense here. He's going deep into the corners, but he's not able to get the car slowed down enough to be able to make the exit of the corner as well as he perhaps would have in some clear air with no one else around him. So that is the kind of pressure that is telling now, coming from Robert Plumley on towards Peter Cowan. But Cowan's still holding the position, and I think that's all that matters.
Cowan doing his best here, but Plumley looks like he's being a little bit resilient, but he has got no front nose cone, so probably going to slow him down on the straights. We've not seen him really have the same draft power to make it pass, so it's going to have to be a corner pass for Plumley, but will that make him a sitting duck when they get onto a straight? This could be his resting place in the championship, well, sorry, the race results at least, because I don't think he can make much ground here, Connery, with that one. But look at this. Mercer and Fraser up at the front. Fraser's just gotten back past, but the gap has opened up now between those two and Halliburton and Edwards, but Williams has got between those guys, so that's really broken that one up. And Williams, in fact, has moved up to 3rd place here. Clark Williams on a late race charge in this one on lap number 11. He's come out of nowhere to move himself up to a podium spot.
Yeah, it's the classic Clark Williams late race charge that we're seeing here, so it's not entirely surprising, but yeah, I'm surprised Kane Halliburton did drop off the back of your leading pair, so your front of your field split into 2 groups of 2, potentially looking to become a group of 2 and a group of 3, depending on what Simon Edwards can do. But coming on to lap number 12 now, and Fraser, again, going to defend the move coming down in towards turn number 1, because Mark Mercer's a bit too far back in that sort of situation. The same could be said for the second pair as well. But looking back, this is Thurston looking to get inside himself secured inside the top 6, but he's going to lose the position around the outside to Jack Hobbs there. And there's Paul Rowell, Ben Daniels behind this that want to get involved as well. And it's going to be feisty coming towards the end of this race if these guys stay as close as they are.
Certainly is, of course, and we're looking to have a very interesting run for this, as Connery just well mentions there. Behind this group, as you just said, really good pack here towards the back of the top 10, Connery. These guys are staying very, very close together, unlike the front group who've really broken up. Keeps this one interesting. A little bit further back, we've got a good pack here, actually, around the likes of Ryan Hughes on his own. Is Christian Novak, Jonathan Sheen, Chris Morris, Tim Adcock, Barry West back here. Around the kind of bottom end of your 20th through about 24th. Nice little pack of cars here forming up. Tim Adcock in 2nd place in that group. Got West a little bit further back, and those guys are probably the biggest group we've got on the track at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that's going to be the case, as this mid-pack in this Monday Night Skippys events, they can be quite frantic, quite crazy, but otherwise the racecraft is quite good in other respects, as long as they don't go too crazy. Otherwise, you know, you're going to embarrass yourself on the broadcast if we manage to spot it. But looking back towards the front, though, Fraser is just holding steady behind Mercer at the moment. You have to wonder what his game plan is going to be. Usually in these Monday Night Skippys events, in any event where we have these Skip Barber Formula 2000 cars, especially in the 2K World Cup on Sundays as well, usually drivers will start to try to figure out where they can make the pass on the final lap, because leading when you come across the line to go on to the final lap, usually that's in some cases that's not where you want to be coming onto the final lap, because the pass is so easy. But let's just see what Bill Fraser does here. He follows so closely through the middle sector.
He does indeed, and this one's definitely getting more exciting. The front end, as we come now towards the final corners here on 13. Mercer back ahead of Fraser, but these two are swapping positions very regularly here. Connery, we are not. It's one of those typical positions where we can't decide the winner until the final corner. And I think that could be well the case. We'll have a watch this time by. Fraser very close following Mercer there. Will he be able to clear him before the line, or will the car leading out the final corner have the race win? And across the line we went. It was still Mercer just, so I think you have to lead out the final corner to have a chance.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough of a run out of the final corner to be able to get yourself past it. It was kind of marginal there. It's within the car's width, but car's length, sorry. But we'll just have to see as there's contact for the race lead. Mercer into the back of Bill Fraser. They'll take it side by side off of turn number 3. And will Mercer give back the position here? Because he was the person that ran into the back there. And I think he is going to drop back just a little bit. Try to tuck inside the slipstream. There we go. Back inside of the dirty air, and he catches right back up to the back. But that was certainly a heart and mouth moment, Rachel.
Certainly is, and well, looks like Halliburton's catching your top two as they fight here. Fraser's ahead, and Halliburton's regained some time here. I think he's only second and a half back, Connery, at this rate, maybe 2 seconds back. That one's been clawed well closer as he's broken away from Simon Edwards, of course, there, and Clark Williams. As that group's really spread out, this could make things interesting. We have 4 to go here. Fraser has a commanding lead there in that duo. I'll be surprised if Mercer passes this time by.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Coming down in towards turn number 1, there's a little bit of front wing damage that Mercer has to be concerned about. Slightly bent the driver's left-hand side of that front wing. But the thing is, the aerodynamics on these cars aren't all that much anyway, so I don't think it's going to affect him too much as he gets a good run coming through the first corner. On the brakes into Wilson, but no move is on. The door is not going to be taken advantage of as they run through the slow-speed apexes here. And Fraser, he's just a little bit sketchy on those corner exits there. Can be a little bit concerning because we have seen him push wide a good couple of times already. But here comes the run for Mark Mercer. Does he go for the pass? Early defensive inside line though for Bill Fraser under the gantry here in towards the left-hander, and Mercer trying to sense an opportunity whenever it arises. But nope, he's just going to be patient and he's just going to stay behind. This is the experience showing.
It absolutely is, and this is what he needs to do if he wants to win this race. He has to let Bill Fraser be the pawn in this situation. He has to let him be used to win this race, and fighting with him is only going to let the likes of Ken Halliburton catch up, which he is doing exactly that right now, which is why Mercer's going to just playing along and running in line. Although Halliburton made a mistake there, ran very wide in the grass.
Yeah, very wide indeed. Just going to drop him back a little more. But right towards the pit wall they will go. Fraser really wants to be leading this race at all points, not just at the checkered flag, as Mercer around the outside. Tries to carry the momentum all the way around. He's going to have to do it again, at least for one more apex. But no, he's just going to lift out, going to back out of the move and follow in line. Very, very patient indeed.
Does indeed exactly what he has to do in this race. Where is El Capitan? Paul Thurston, 6th place right now of all places. Gone past Ben Daniels there. He's ahead of Jack Hobbs as well, I believe. No, Hobbs is the one just ahead of him. This group, of course, has Paul Rowell just at the very back of it. So Thurston absolutely plowing through this field. He's up now 5 spots from where he started, and he'll be very happy with this result when all is said and done, if he can hold on to this position, of course. But Daniels goes up the inside there. Can Thurston hold the inside line? Should have the inside for the brakings, and a wheel tap there with Daniels. Will drop a spot, but still doing rather well today.
Yeah, he really is. And, well, in terms of the biggest movers in your field, inside the top 20 at least, that is going to be Josh Thompson in that number 49 Radicals Online machine. Fantastic to see drivers that, well, did go for the pro license, shall we say, in Josh Thompson's case, but unfortunately he didn't get it. But it's good to see this caliber driver in this field. As I say that, you're going to push wide. Of course you are, Josh, but there we go. Maybe a little bit too used to having the high downforce of the McLaren F1 car.
I think he might be expecting that exactly right. As back to checking our lead, and look at this. Fraser ahead still, but Halliburton clawing up to the back of him now as the field comes closer and closer. It's Christopher Keeble just ahead of them, lap down in we're about to go lap down in P38. Super slow there on the inside, as I'm not sure why he just slowed down in the middle of the racetrack there, but Mercer got an absolute slingshot round the outside as Fraser had to take evasive action. And could this be the opportunity he was looking for? No, he stays back in position.
Yep, and look at that. Kane Halliburton now making this a 3-car fight for the race win. This is the penultimate lap now as they come through the long right-hander of Coram there. Turn number 5 on the circuit here, and it's going to be the white flag out the next time by any one of these 3 cars can win this event. Make sure you get this final corner right now. Make sure you get the final corner right coming towards the checkered flag. So white flag will be out on the starter's stands. That signals 1 lap to go on this iRacing side of things, and most American ovals, of course, but no moves coming down in towards turn number 1.
Not yet, of course, but look at this. Halliburton right up behind Mercer now. The gap is gone. Those 3 are all over each other. This is our fight for the podium positions. Who will finish where? Can Bill Fraser hold on to secure a win here over the veteran campaigner Mark Mercer? Could Halliburton strike both of them down and take a victory for himself? We'll have to see what will happen here because Mercer's running out of opportunities to make a move, and he has to do something very soon. Not a lot of lap opportunities left to go. Fraser on the inside here. Mercer's gaining some ground. Will it be in time? He's going to have to basically not bother braking for this next sequence of corners to get any sort of run. Hasn't got the best line through. Gets some good speed here, but he has to look to the outside. Fraser's going to hold the inside line if he can. Mercer right on the gearbox of Bill Fraser here into the final few corners at Snetterton. Pulls back. Oh, runs wide. Oh, contact with Halliburton. Both of them lose speed. Halliburton will continue, though. We'll look at it back after the race. Mercer at dire straits losing positions there. Probably won't even finish in the podium as Bill Fraser will come to the line and take the victory here at Snetterton. Kane Halliburton limps across the line. I think maybe we'll know. He won't even take second. Oh, what an upset. Simon Edwards takes second place. Mark Mercer limps across in 3rd place somehow. I'm not entirely sure how that happened.
He let the position back.
He did. He gave him the position back. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, Halliburton being very sporting. Edwards wasn't his fight. He had no stake in that one. And through he goes. We'll get a replay up for you now as we see exactly what happened there with Mark Mercer in that final 2 corners. And you'll see it here. As they come through, he just understeers Connery. He just loses some grip on the racetrack and runs wide. Actually, no, it's not Mercer, sorry, that runs wide. It's actually Halliburton that just pushes out wide. Hits him, turns him around. But a sporting move by Halliburton to let the position back. Lost himself multiple spots doing so, but very honourable move.
Yeah, exactly, but that move in the penultimate corner is kind of questionable. You can go for it. Of course, it is the final few corners. If you're not going to go for the move, then, well, there's a center quote about that, but maybe that's used a bit too much to justify very bad moves, but there we go. Kane Evan, it is right that he let position back. Of course, that is definitely his fault in that sort of situations. He could have tried to keep it more towards the curb there, tried to get the car slowed down, not drift out as much as he did, but the door was open and he went for it, but it just sadly did not come off this time.
Certainly didn't. And well, to our results now. Bill Fraser comes home with a win here today. Pole to the victory for the young Scotsman. Simon Edwards in 2nd place. Mark Mercer in 3rd. Kane Halliburton in 4th place with Clark Williams 5th. Jack Hobbs, Ben Daniels, Paul Rowell, Paul Thurston. Nicholas Vaughan Roberts in 10th place. Gordon Ramsay, Josh Thompson, Tom Ward fights his way back to 13th. Incredible run from him from a low of 32nd. Jake Ridlington, Nick Sigley, Peter Cowan, Paul Robert Plumley, Ashley Beard, Simon Maltby, and Ewan Patterson. Rest of those positions up on your screen as Connery. Snetterton 200, much more exciting than the 300. Confirmed.
Yeah, absolutely, and well, it just keeps a lot of these groups just a little bit closer together to be able to make them fight it out coming towards the end of the race. We did get that 3-car fight at the end there, and there were a couple of battles down through the field that took it to the last lap as well, but yeah, that was just a good race, just a good race.
Certainly was, and well, we are going to step away for a quick break. Oh no, we're not, because we have people here already. Mr. Thurston's here, a high of 6th place tonight, Paul, and you come home today in 9th place from 11th on the grid. think I might be right in saying you like Snetterton.
Yeah, I actually raced here for real. It's the first place I've raced a proper car. I mean, I'm Russell, the final chicane on 2 wheels and a Mini, which was fine till it landed. And
That is how they normally corner though, right?
Well, yeah, but what you mustn't do is change down halfway through, because when you land, it doesn't do a lot of good. But anyway, didn't do that tonight. I did run on too little fuel. I took a risk on the fuel and ended up in a life or death battle, which meant I used more fuel than I had in practice. So it means I lost a place right at the end. But well, what a great little fight to be in! That was really beautiful and clean and great racing between Paul and Paul and.
Paul and probably
Sorry,
Mr.
I enjoyed
Ben
that.
Daniels.
Yeah, Mr. Ben Daniels, that's the one. Yes, it's all right. I accidentally pressed the. I forgot my mic button is the mouse button. I went to click something else. It was fun. That's another top 10. So it's either nothing or top 10 this season. I'm happy to keep it like that. I'm sneak because I've got 2 lost scores now. I can sneak up on the blind side of everybody and sneak up and just win the championship in the final round. They didn't even know I was coming.
Well, here's hoping for Paul Thurston. And your teammate Barry West had another good one today. Barry, scrappy little battle for you in this one. Started 32nd, came home today, 28th place. But you had another survival of a race. You started to actually finish these things a bit often.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if you looked at the state of my car. It's a bit mangled. No, I kept it pointing in the right direction all the time. But yeah, I think people just trying to overtake the car in front instead of thinking longer term, instead of slowing you both down and losing the draft of the ones in front. But it was a battle. I mean, there was about 4 or 5 cars and we were having a good old battle. But just, yeah, I could have easily been, as a bit of a lottery, could have been the other way around. I could have been 4 places higher and, yeah. Oh well. It was
Are you
a good
suggesting,
race.
Barry, are you suggesting that playing the long game and thinking about the end result of a race is a better strategy than trying to pass in the first corner?
Well, I just wish these people would drive cars that are, the performance is more affected by the damage, because they would drive differently, I think. Yeah, I think it's... but then again, it's a short race, so, you know, people are going to try and take advantage on the first corner, aren't they, I suppose. But, yeah, one of those things. It's a fun race anyway. I mean, it certainly brings out... it's a good racetrack to actually race these cars on. We did it not long ago in the Lotus 79, and it was a bit boring in the Lotus, because there's no overtaking at all. But at least there's overtaking in these Skippys. They're certainly fun for this track.
Certainly is true. Well, thanks for joining us, Barry. Well, Connery, we're going to wrap things up for tonight. Don't forget, everybody at home, you can catch us as always, same time next week here on RaceSpotTV, where Monday Night Skippys, well, Mondays just wouldn't be the same without it, would they? Thanks for watching, guys, and good night.